maintaining Helene Hadsell's legacy and Tag Powell's legacy and Judith Powell's legacy and my own legacy as I also write books. And I have discovered that YouTube does vertical lives as the contest queen. And so I thought I would try it over here on Words for Winning, because there's nothing I love better than to multitask. I have a mountain of laundry to fold, and this is my chance to get this done, a boring task, while I teach about Helene Hadsell, her SPEC method, answer any questions about her books, about winning sweepstakes, because that's what I write about. So otherwise, I'm just going to chat, because I did a post today, and I think I need to make it a video too. I was thinking about that after, because it's 7 images. I actually added it to the blog post. If you go onto my homepage at Words for Winning, there's a blog post called Be a Winner in All Ways, and it's about the SPEC method. And it's the article Helene wrote in 2009. And what I realized is she led people to believe that the SPEC method is the specific SPEC method is what she used to win all of her prizes in her house. But she didn't actually write out the SPEC method till 2009. And now, the techniques are the same. So if you read her 1971 book, which is the first part of the 3rd edition, drop some stuff here. Oh, we have a rogue sock. If you read her 1971 edition of the Name It and Claim It game, SPEC wasn't in there. It ended with the Maneuvers for Witchcraft chapter. I've done videos on this. You can see them on my YouTube channel. She did. Oh, there's where one of those dryer balls went. The 1971 edition it ends with the Maneuvers for Witchcraft chapter, and there's no SPEC. And when she redid the book in 1988, she started to flush out SPEC. So she had selected, projected, expected. No further explanation, no further additional teaching, nothing. Just those 3 words or 3, little catchphrases. It wasn't, so that was 88. So almost 20 years later, 10 years later, 88, 20 years, almost 20 years later, 21 years later, she wrote the SPEC article and flushed it out in full. Now, had she written it anywhere else between 1988 and 2009, I don't know. I only got partial works from her, because part of getting the remains of the books, like all of her books, was that and buying the rights to her books, was I got the remains of her business files. But it had been 15 years since she was gone, and there wasn't a lot left. So I don't know where her journals went. Even her son, I was asking her son if he knew. He had no clue. Like, nobody knew where that stuff went. So we did so I took what I could, and I found as many digital files as I could and paper files, and there was never anything about her SPEC method between those dates. So I'm not quite sure what she did in the interim or how she came up. There's also no indication of how she created it or how she came up with it. Now, see, this is where I wish I had asked her different questions when I spent time with her, because had I hung out with her now, all the questions I'd be asking are very different. So we'll fold the socks later. We're going to throw them over there. So that's one of the things. And a lot of people I find struggle with the SPEC method. We either get that it's a bunch of crap, it doesn't work, or it's all fake. And, you know, do you actually believe that stuff? Here's the problem with manifesting as it's currently taught. First of all, we're always manifesting, whether we like the results or not. We're always manifesting, consciously or unconsciously. The key to the SPEC method is what you're doing is you're shifting from unconscious manifesting to conscious manifesting. So that's why the first part is select it, because you're selecting what you want to manifest. It's not going to be just random things. So you're moving into conscious manifesting. And also, if you have any questions about Helene or her work or Tag and his work, you know, leave them in the comments and I'll answer them. Anyway, so that's part of the key is you're going to conscious manifesting. And most people aren't consciously manifesting, or they will start to consciously manifest and they will slip back into unconscious manifesting because they've been in that mode so long. I mean, how many times have you gone to work and come home, and then you want to go out somewhere later and you find yourself driving to work? Like I did that the other day. Oh, how are you? I'm very good. I'm multitasking. We are getting the laundry done and I get to teach. So two things that I love. And I think this might not, usually I do this at night because it's usually nighttime, but we've had the time change and Sunday afternoon. And I noticed because I'm facing this way, the window's behind me, and I'm getting the really weird thing with the light. Maybe we switch sides of the bed. This is what live is all about, right? Maybe actually the light will even be better. So I usually sit on my side of the bed. This is George's side of the bed. So, now we have to finagle the light. And I have to move the pile because I was sitting. Okay, there we go. Now we're folding. Oh, how do I have to turn? Okay, so there we go. There you go. Now you see the other side of the room and the light's here. So let's see if it stops that in and out. Sunday's the best day to do laundry because it's also the cheapest electricity. All the prices of everything have been going up. So Sunday is laundry day. Sheets, towels, everything. Anyway, so you're going from conscious manifesting to unconscious manifesting to conscious manifesting. Now, the other thing that people don't talk about in the manifesting community that one of my favorite teachers talks about, his name is Robert Ohotto. He wrote Transforming Fate into Destiny. And he talks about how, we each have a soul contract. You may have learned about soul contracts in a book by Carolyn Mace called Soul Contracts, which I loved. So we each have a soul contract. So some people, they want to manifest certain things and they just aren't going to happen because it's not in their soul contract. So you can select it and project it and expect it, but you may never collect it. So for example, and it also has to be, now this is also against some of the teachers. So I'm going to say you have to be realistic when you goal set. Now, what does that mean? I think there's a difference between a realistic goal and a big, hairy, audacious goal. And I'll give you the difference. So, for example, an unrealistic goal for me would to be decide that I want to be an NBA, WNBA basketball player right now in my life. I'm almost 60. I'm 5'2". I have no athletic ability. For me to decide that and then try to train and play basketball, it's never going to happen. Yes, you can manifest a man with SPEC. Let me finish this example and I will tell you how I manifested George. So that's an unrealistic goal. Now, a big, hairy, audacious, quote, realistic goal is I've decided that this year I'm going to publish a book a month. Now, if you know anything about writing or publishing, that is a crazy ass goal. Big, hairy, audacious goal. And this is the third year that I've worked on this goal. So the year one I tried this, I published 4 books instead of 12. Second year I tried it. I don't know, everything went off the rails. I published 1. So I'm like, okay, I'm also not one to give up. This year I decided I'm going to publish 12 again. Now, that includes, it doesn't have to be a new book. Okay? That could be a translation, an audiobook, my own book that I'm working on, things like that. So that's what I'm working on. So far, I have published 2 books. It is March. I published the Italian version of the Name It and Claim It game in January and the French version in February. And I'm actually working on, German and Turkish are being worked on, but they won't be ready this month. I'm working on Prizes Everywhere, which I wanted to be out this month. Yeah, that's way behind. So I'm throwing in, I haven't done any of Judith Powell's books. So I thought, oh, this would be a good month to do Judith's book, The Science of Getting Rich, because she did her own edition of the Wallace Wattles book. So I thought, oh, that'll be good. I'll throw that one out there. So that's a republish, update and republish, because she published that in, what year did I have in there? I think she did it in 94. And it went through a few printings. So it's been out of print for basically 20 years. And so this, and it was only in paperback. So now this is the first time it'll be available in both paperback and ebook. So that's what I mean by big hairy. So when you're setting your goals and being specific, make sure they're achievable in the sense of something you can control. Like I can't control my height. I can't control my athletic ability. I can't control my age, but I can control how much I write and publish. So I'm setting goals that are in one sense attainable, but bigger than I think I can normally achieve. So that's one thing. Now, we had a question, can you manifest a man with SPEC? So here's how, I've done videos on this before. This is how I manifested George. So this started back when I was married. You're going to find this interesting. So I love me a good vision board. If you follow Colette Barron-Reed, every January she would do a vision board class. Now, over the years, how she taught how to make vision boards was changing. It's fascinating, her history of how she did vision boards. And she would tell stories about different things that she would do and how things would manifest and what would happen. She just recently came out a book on manifesting, and she shows her new technique for vision boards, which is very fluid and tapped into universal consciousness. So it's a really different take on what she used to teach. Anyway, I used to do her old style, and I would always do mine in the Feng Shui Bagua style. So in the upper right-hand corner, which is the love quadrant, I guess, it's not the right term, but in the love section of the Bagua, I would always put a picture of 2 Adirondack chairs, or where I live, they call them Muskoka chairs. I'd put a picture of 2 Muskoka chairs there. And I always think that really represented, you know, a nice couple, because it would be peaceful and connected. You know, you'd be sitting on the dock at the lake with the sunset, maybe a glass of wine, maybe a cup of tea. You'd sit there with your partner, you'd talk, you'd connect after the day, or first thing in the morning, you'd be out there with your cup of coffee, talking about life, you know, just being in connection with somebody. Now, I was married at the time, and this is how the universe works, because a lot of people go, but my life's falling apart. How? So here's what happened. The universe will say to you, are you sure you want that goal? And you go, yep, I would like that goal. So they go, you know, that guy you're with, he's not the guy that would fulfill you and be in an interdependent relationship with you in those chairs. You're in a codependent relationship right now. You guys are having, you're not soulmates, you're wound mates. He was an he had the what 2 archetypes was he? I think he was the vampire addict, and I was the codependent perfectionist. Great teamwork. So the universe goes, okay, but you can have that, but first you need to not be with him. Then you need to heal yourself. And then after all that, yeah, you can have that relationship. So my marriage fell apart. We went bankrupt. It was a mess. Then by the time I moved out, I decided to stay single for 4 years, because I thought, I'm a hot mess. I don't want to date a hot mess. Who's going to want to date a hot mess? I don't want to date a hot mess. So then I stayed single for 4 years. And then the universe tested me. When I started to date again, I met a really nice man, but he had some of the archetypes that my ex-husband had, or I like to call him my husband, because ex feels a little harsh. He's just, you know, he's just not for me. And so I started dating somebody, and I was like, no, yeah, you're not for me either. So I took the summer off because I was really busy with projects. And then in the fall of 2017, now this is, you got to remember, I had those pictures of those Adirondacks up on a vision board from I know, and people don't like these timelines because they want something tomorrow. Sorry to break the news to you, but it might take a little longer than you like. And it depends on how quickly you can heal or embrace your wounds or whatever process you're going through. For me, it took a long time. You might do it in a month. You might take what I took 10 years to do and do it in 30 days. I don't know. But I had those pictures of those Adirondacks for 4 years or 3 or 4 years before the process started. Because I guess the universe had to see I was serious. So then I took the summer off, and then I met George. And the reason I knew he was for me was you got to always listen to that little voice. Many times if you had that little voice pop up and you go, no, that doesn't make any sense. And then what happens is later something happens and you go, oh my God, I knew that. So I started dating again, and I was going out for coffee with different people, and I had coffee with George, nice guy. Now, what really attracted me to him was I was on the online dating sites, and in his profile, now he was on a different profile, and my girlfriend said to me, don't go on all of them because you'll find the same people. It's ridiculous. So I was only on Plenty of Fish, and he was on Match, but he decided to go on to Plenty of Fish. And I said to him later, how many people did you meet on Plenty of Fish? He goes, only you. So clearly he had the intuitive hit to come over to Plenty of Fish so he can meet me. Anyway, so we have coffee, and he's really nice. I'm like, oh, we had like talked for 2 hours. Time just went by so quick. We had so much fun. Then we turned around and I was having coffee with other people because I lined up a bunch of coffee dates. That's my secret too, coffee dates, because it's inexpensive. And if I don't like you, I'm only spending 15 minutes with you and I can leave, right? I'm not trapped into a 2-hour dinner. I've made that mistake before. Anyway, so I'm out and I get in my car and my window breaks. Like there's a gear in in electronic window and there's like a cable. The cable snapped and the window just into my door, shattered into a million pieces. There was glass in the car, out of the car, in the door. It was terrible. I'm sitting there going, what the F? So he had been texting me and I messaged him back and I said, you're not going to believe this. My window just broke. And he said, do you need me to come get you? And my intuitive hit on him was, this man has your back. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I paid heed to that. And it turned out to be true because I've had crazy situations. I've had one time I had my car wasn't working and I ended up with a rental in the United States. And it was during the pandemic and I couldn't come back over the border with the rental. So I phoned him and I said, hey, I need you to drop your day, drive 4 hours to the border, like cross the border, pick me and all my stuff up and take me home. And he did. That man has your back. So, and I had also decided this time, because the one thing I found with my ex and I is that we didn't have the same value system. On the surface we did, but as it turns out, when it came down to the brass tacks, we didn't. So I kind of said, I need somebody, I want the male version of me. And one of the things that happened with George and I is I would say something and he would say, me too. Or he would say something and I would go, me too. And we'd been dating for about, I don't know, 3 months and it was Christmas time. So I was over here and we were cooking turkey and everything together. We did our combined Christmas. And he said, hey, how do you want me to do this? And I go, just do it the way I would do it. I didn't tell him what it was because I knew it would be the same. So that's how I manifested George, because I decided I wanted the male version of me. And, you know, I wasn't going to settle for anything less. But it took a long time. And my life fell apart in the middle. And I did a lot of healing to get to this point. So, yes, you can manifest your perfect person. So we've been together 8 years now. I actually said to him, we should start planning for our 10th anniversary, like plan like a cruise or a trip to Europe or something big, like a big trip. When we've been together 10 years. So, okay. So let's see. Let me go back because, okay. So yes, so you can manifest your perfect partner using SPEC. Depending on where you are in your life, be prepared to have some things fall apart before they're put back together. Because the person I am now and the person that is in that relationship with George is not the person that was married to my husband, Craig. Like, I'm not the same person. And I think, and I've talked to George about this. I said, hey, imagine like, oh, it would have been nice if we met when we were young, but also he is not the person that was married to his ex-wife. He's gone through process too. So had we met, say when we were 20, he's like 3 years older than me. So, you know, like 20 and 23, I don't know if we would have worked, because we both had to have all those processes to become the people we were when we met. Right? So you have to take that into consideration. But you can do it. And it's worth it. And of course, we're not perfect together. We have our little headbutts sometimes, but really it's nothing. How can I manifest the Euro Millions lottery? I've been living in the wish fulfilled for years now. Okay, so here, I'm going to ask you this, if you're still here. Why do you want the money? So you'll see a lot of teachers talk about this. So you're living in the wish fulfilled for winning the lottery. But are you living in the wish fulfilled for the aftermath of that and what it would involve? And what do you want the money for? So, for example, if you want it to be financially abundant and have freedom to do whatever you wish and feel safe, you want to focus on those things, not the money, and then see how else those things can show up. Because you're focusing on the lottery and you're telling the universe, hey, I can only get to those things by winning the lottery. What if it could come another way? So what if, for example, you focused on being financially abundant and then you had the inspired idea to write a book and it becomes an international bestseller and you become a multimillionaire because the book was optioned and it became a movie, and now you're traveling all over the world and you have the money, and it only happened in a span of 2 years. Why are you shutting down? What if you've discovered you've got a long lost uncle who left you an inheritance? What if, like, you don't know? You don't want to shut the doors. So what I want you to do is sit down and have a real look at how you, why you want the money and what you want your life to look like. And go down to the emotions. The other, I'm going to recommend a separate book that I love. And she has really unique teachings, different than other people, and her books are only $5. They're $5 PDFs, and get on her email list. She sends out emails like all the time with exercises in them for free all the time. So you can get on her mailing list. It doesn't cost you anything, and you can get exercises to do in every single email for free. And her name is Amy Jo Ellis, and she wrote the Court of Atonement books. And the one that I want you to check out is called Making Peace with Money. And she has you check your relationship with money using all different kinds of words. And it's really interesting to see where you flow with money and where you have blocks with money. Another good book is by Marie Nemeth. I think I'm pronouncing that right. It's called The Energy of Money. And she also has a lot of exercises. Because if you have any blocks to that money, you're not going to win the Euro Millions. The third recommendation I have is to go watch Timothy Schultz, because he interviews a lot of really interesting people, as he won the Powerball and now has a lottery channel. So it's how I would watch on it. Oh, do you know Tamil people? I am not blessed enough to have any Tamil friends in my circle at the moment. Maybe you could be my first Tamil friend. Oh, good night from Istanbul. Goodness, that's, yeah. Yeah, freedom. Yeah, focus on the freedom. So again, just to recap, the first resource is going to be Amy Jo. Let me try that again. Yeah, focus on why you want the money. Then do Amy Jo Ellis's Court of Atonement, Making Peace with Money. Then Energy of Money with Marie Nemeth. And then Timothy Schultz for the lottery. Yeah. Oh, you too. And you now, all that said, you could win the Euro Millions. That might be the path. But the only reason I discourage it is because everybody wants to win the lottery and no one seems to want to look at why or the different aspects of the money. And so that's why I want to talk about that, because so I'll give you another example. A lot of people message me and go, so why didn't Helene Hadsell just win the lottery? Like, if she can manifest anything, why didn't she manifest the lottery? Well, she won all her prizes in the 50s and 60s and some in the 70s. Okay? Texas didn't have a state lottery until 1992. She'd already won everything decades before. Why would she need to win the lottery when she'd already won trips and cars and cash and a house, which is what you'd want to spend the lottery on, but she had already had it all for free. She didn't need the lottery. You got to remember, she was also born in 1924. So she was almost 70. She was 68 when the lottery came in. By 68, you know, most people don't want to win the lottery at 68. They want to win it a lot younger. Right? So she didn't really play the lottery. Now, that was also one of the number one questions she got. So I wrote 3 blog posts on Helene's lottery philosophy. The first, she included a small blurb in what she thought people could do to win the lottery in the Name It and Claim It game. The second and the third are articles that I found in the remains of her business files. The first was an article that she wrote while she was teaching, and it's how one of the students took the advice in the class and won some money in the lottery. Now, it wasn't a huge sum. It wasn't millions. It was $25,000. But nobody would complain about winning $25,000. So they won $25,000. And then the last one is, she wrote it close to when she passed away. She was really fed up with people asking her how to win the lottery. So it's a bit of a snarky article. And if you start to read a lot of Helene's works, you can start to see she had a bit of a snark to her, which I totally love. You know, because we're all multidimensional beings. I mean, we're not just one thing, right? Like, we're many things. We're multifaceted, and we have many sides to us, all types of emotions, all types of experiences, all types of interests and hobbies and skills, right? And everybody's different. It says, I want to sleep one night saying in my head, I'm a Euro Millions jackpot winner. When I woke up the next morning, as soon as I opened my eyes, I heard a voice saying, you will win. You will win. It's due. Oh, that's very interesting. You go watch Timothy Schultz and his story, because he dreamt it too. And I think he's videotaped a couple of interviews with people and dreams and winning the lottery. So he had a dream that he won the lottery, and it was so strong that when he woke up, he was wondering where the money was, because he really believed he won the lottery. And so he thought, oh my God, I better start buying some tickets. And he did. He went out and bought some tickets, and he won the Powerball. But he dreamt it. So you definitely need to go follow Timothy. But it says you will win. It's due. But is it like in due course or in due time? So maybe checking out Emily or Amy Jo Ellis's work to make sure you're in line with all the money aspects is a good idea, to make sure you have no blocks. Yes, I often fall asleep to hit. I know, Timothy's so good. I think then, since you've already explored Timothy, I would definitely do Amy Jo Ellis, because I think if you could align yourself and make sure that you don't have any blocks, then hidden blocks, because of course it's never conscious, right? If it was conscious, you could have already healed it or integrated it or hugged it or embraced it or whatever, and you'd be a multi-millionaire from the Euro jackpot. But right, so there's a disconnect, and what you're exploring is the next. You can also meditate. If you meditate, say to the universe, okay, so clearly there's a disconnect. I had that dream. We follow Timothy. What am I missing? Show me the hole in my system. Show me what I need to work on. Show me what tool I should use. Show me what my next steps are. And then be very vigilant to any type of signal from the universe. It could be a song on the radio. It could be a billboard. You could receive a letter in the mail or an email, or you could see, a special YouTube channel that pops up on your feed, and you go, that's an interesting interview. I need to watch that. So it could be anything that comes across your path. A friend can say something to you. So the other thing, so this isn't sweepstakes related, but it's the flow of life related. So don't worry about where the answer is going to come from. So Robert Ohado says, live as if you're the answer to someone's prayer. Now, this is crazy. This happened to me last August, and I was gobsmacked when it happened. So I'm in Texas, and I was visiting Dyke Hadsell, Helene Hadsell's son, because I didn't know how it was. I had a chance to go visit, and I thought, he's 75. He's not in peak health. I don't know what can happen or how long anybody's got, right? Actually, you just don't know. So if you have an opportunity in life, you got to just take it. So I went down there, and I actually, for the first part of my trip, I was working. I went to the convention, the sweepstakes convention, and I actually visited Melissa Waters, who is Helene's granddaughter, and hung out with her. Like, I've got posts and stories and things about that on my website. And then I went to the sweepstakes convention, and then I went to Texas. So George wasn't coming for the first part. So I flew him down to Dallas because I wanted him to meet Dyke and Fiona and see where Helene lived in the Delta Sciences Center, and then see the house she won, and see, just get a sense of the whole place. I wanted him to see, because I've been talking about this for years, right? Like, I met Helene in 2008, and I finally did something about it in 2019. And so I wanted him to see and hear all the stuff that I've been talking about, so he had some context. So we take Fiona and Dyke out for lunch, right? Like, of course I'm taking them out to treat them. They're senior citizens. Like they have a breakfast, and then they have like a late lunch, early dinner, and then they might have a snack later. Right? So Dyke, we were talking about what to go eat. And of course, we're visiting Texas. So he's like, you got to have barbecue, right? You're in Texas. Of course, you got to have barbecue. So we go to the Spring Creek barbecue place. Fantastic food. George and I each picked different lunches so we could just share. Like we got a little bit of everything so that we could share. And delicious. Like we were stuffed. It was so good. Then I realized while we were there, that's the exact same. It's a chain. It was a different location, but it's the exact same restaurant I went to with Helene in 2008 to the DF Winners Sweepstakes Club meeting. Oh my God, seriously? It was the same place. And it took me a minute to realize it. I was kind of embarrassed it took me as long as it did. It was basically halfway through lunch. So anyway, it was fantastic. So while at lunch, Dyke starts telling us a story about the house that they won. Now, I discovered something about Texas. They have something called dynamic soil. And the house, like in some places, if you don't have a basement, I live above the frost line. So everyone here has a basement, right? Because otherwise the houses would move. So, the basements go in and then everything's like good to go. The house isn't going to shift. Some places, like when I lived with my aunt and uncle in Australia, they were on a slab. So they just, even out the land, pour a concrete slab, build a house. That's all there is to it. There's other places like that. But where Helene was, where they built the house in Irving, like if you read the story on how she won the house and how they picked out the plot of land and all that, they have to build on pillars. So they dig down just like as deep as we would have our basement and pour these pillars all over and then pour the foundation. But sometimes those shift. There's actually companies, I did some Googling, there's actually companies that they specialize in shoring up houses. So they'll dig under, fix the pillars, fix the slab all from underneath, and then put all the soil back under your house. Like it's a big job. It's the equivalent of getting your roof replaced. Oh, let's see. I bought a Lucky shirt from your site. Oh my God, they're so fun. I need to order some more because I've worn mine so much that they're like wearing out. I have to order my own stuff. Oh, and thanks. I love the new haircut. Today's a little wonky because it was wet, and then we went shopping and I put a hat on. And then I came and I was like, oh my God, I want to go live. Okay, clip. Oops, let's see. Does circumstances not matter in manifesting love? I already have a guy, but we're in a tricky situation. Yeah, I just told the story. You're going to have to come back and watch the replay because I just told the whole situation of how I manifested George. And I was married at the time. And then I went through a long divorce. Then I was single for a while. And then I met George. So it took like some time. I know people don't want to hear that. But if you're in a tricky situation, he might not be the person for you. And it kind of irks me, these manifesting people. This is a pet peeve of mine that say, oh, you can manifest your SP back. Like they broke up with you and you want them back. Why do you want them back? Why? They don't want to be with you. Why are you wasting your energy? What you should be saying to the universe is, I want my perfect person, and write it all out. Like, what do you want in a person? And I bet you 9 times out of 10, that list that you make does not match that person that's no longer with you. Why do those manifesting people teach you, oh, you can get them back, you can get them back? Why? Now, if you make the list and then they come back and you can work on it, that's fine. But don't go chasing something that's gone. Colette Baron-Reid always teaches. Yes? No. If it's meant for you, it will not pass you by. Yes? That's George. He's laughing. I'm not in the office. I'm folding laundry and teaching. No, I'm not going to be long. Okay. I get excited and I yell. And he's like, this house is not soundproof. So he's like, I can hear you in the living room. And I have a mic on, so I shouldn't have to yell, but I get so excited and so passionate. Yes, that's George. He's so funny. Okay, so where was I? Oh my God, now I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, they manifest. So what you want to do is you want to focus on the perfect person for me. Now, don't say, I want, Brad Pitt. Like, that's the guy. No. I want my perfect person. I saw a woman on TikTok, so cute. She put a picture of Jason Momoa on her vision board. Now, she knew she didn't want specifically Jason Momoa, but she liked the characteristics he embodied. Okay? And she liked, like his kindness and his generosity and his thoughtfulness and these characteristics. So when she put him on her vision board, she wasn't saying, I want that person. I want this type of person whose characteristics I admire and would like in my life. And then she was showing the person that she was dating who looked freaking exactly like Jason Momoa and had all those characteristics. So she goes, just saying, okay? So put what you want. And one of the things I put, because I'm also the contest queen, and I do this, like I'm folding laundry and I'm talking loudly in the bedroom. Like, I need someone that can handle that crazy. And I got someone that can handle that crazy. He just shakes his head at me a lot. But we have a lot of fun together, especially when I win prizes. We went on a concert date last week, right? I won tickets to go see High Valley. Oh my gosh, it was so good. And we stopped at a place I saw on TikTok in the next town for burgers. And it turned out they were a one-off. It's their own place. We were talking to the owner. Yeah, we'll be back. The stuff was delicious. It was a little pricey, but you kind of get what you pay for. And I like supporting small businesses instead of big chains, Like I said, it was the man's own business. He had chains before, like he had bought a franchise and did that, but he didn't like it. And he'd been a banker for years, and his wife was, I think, a teacher, and now they have a burger restaurant. I mean, I thought it was fantastic. And they kept the menu very simple, and it was delicious. Like everything was fresh. It was so good. So, okay, let's see. I missed some. We were gossiping about you, George. No, he knows. He knows. That's the other thing. I said, someone that can handle this crazy. Yeah, I feel like I've heard these stories before from you, including watching you fold laundry. Love you. I don't do the laundry so much that's the other thing. I do more on Contest Queen because, let's face it, more people want to talk about how to win sweepstakes and where do you find them and all that stuff. And actually, what's really cool, and this is my first YouTube vertical live, I got an email from YouTube one day because I have 2 channels, this one and Contest Queen. And actually, technically, I have 3. I have my marketing one, but I say she's sleeping. So I have a channel, but I don't do anything on it. I get a message from YouTube on Contest Queen, and they're like, hey, we're teaching, we're inviting certain creators to a YouTube vertical course that's 12 weeks long for free. Would you like to take it? Yeah. Why wouldn't I want to learn from YouTube how to improve my, business? Not that I make a lot of money off YouTube. I think I have enough to buy a bag of groceries a month from YouTube. I don't make a fortune. I can't earn my living off of YouTube. Maybe one day. See, there's a goal I could spec. Having a channel that's self-sufficient, that's a second full income stream. Okay, now that's more of a goal that I could get behind. So I've done a couple on Contest Queen, just standalone like this. So I used to do them on TikTok, and then I would download them and then put them on YouTube, because why not? And then I started doing the same on Contest Queen. I started doing these vertical lives on YouTube versus TikTok. Well, the audience is so different. People were getting mad at me that I was not like just focused on talking. I had a lot of people saying, can you just focus on doing this? Why are you doing something else while you're talking to us? And I thought, you can just swipe away. You have to stay and listen. And if you want to learn just the sweepstakes questions or just a specific topic, once a month I do a manifesting chat on here, and on Contest Queen I do a sweepstakes Q&A, which I slowly want to expand, but I'm also trying to publish a book a month. So I do a straight up sweepstakes Q&A where I sit at my desk and I literally just I have a topic for the month that I cover, plus I answer sweepstakes questions one after another. And sometimes I've gone, like, it's usually an hour, but I remember a couple of weeks ago or a couple of months ago, it was like, I had so many questions. I went like an hour and a half, and I'm not going to stop if people are asking questions, right? Like, I'm not going to do that. So, and sometimes, and as for repeating the stories, I just generally answer the questions that come across. Plus, I always remember that Joseph Murphy said to Helene, if you read the Confessions of an 83-year-old Sage, she said to him, Mr. Murphy, I notice you repeat your stories in your books. And he said, sometimes somebody has to read something 42 times before they understand it. And I thought, that's a very specific number, which I find very funny, because he used that specific number, because if you read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the answer to the life, the universe, and everything was 42. Now, they say that the author, Douglas Adams, got it from Harrods because his favorite Earl Grey blend, which I have a tin, the tea's long gone, but I have a tin, that specific blend is number 42. But I found it interesting that he also used the same number, that 42 was the answer that people needed to hear and read something that many times before they got it. So that's kind of fascinating in and of itself. So yeah, I'm going to try and do more of these. Like, when I have time, I'm just going to pop on, no announcement, no nothing, just come on here and answer questions and tell stories. Oh my God, I never finished the story of the things because we got sidetracked with George. But hold on, let me see if there's any other questions, and I'll go back to that story. Yeah, it took you 10 plus years of inner work to transform your vibe to be in alignment with the male version of you. Show us George one day, please. Oh, if you go over to Contest Queen or Contest Queen YouTube, I show George all the time over there because he participates with me. Right now, there's some contest going on, and I get him to participate with me. And he sometimes does the videos, like I film him, and then I edit and I post. And then, of course, you'll see him when I go on the contest adventures, because usually he's there. So yeah, head over to Contest Queen and see George in action. He's so funny. But yeah, he doesn't really fit into the Words for Winning channel, so I don't see him too much. But he was in some of the pictures and things from the Texas trip when we met Dyke, and there's so many videos on your channel. Don't know where to start. Okay, so if you want to start winning lotteries and contests, go find I did one on lotteries. So I would say if you go to my website and there's a search feature, it's a little magnifying glass, type in lottery, and there's a part 1, part 2, part 3 blog post series on the lottery. Start there. That's what I would do. I like laundry folding. It's relaxing. Yeah, but it's also very boring. So this is so much more fun, because usually I watch TV, but now I kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I get to create some content, because as a content creator with multiple channels, I'm always like, okay, where can I find time to squeeze in? And Jenna Page, she's amazing. She's mainly on Instagram, but she always does stuff while she's doing things. Like she either does it silently and puts like text or over voiceover, or teaches you different things. She's fantastic. So I try and learn from her. I took her course and then I finished it all at the end. It was free. I'm going to have to take it again. Oh, that's fascinating. 2 by 2, watching a YouTube video. The guy in the video simultaneously said the numbers. Yeah, that's synchronicity at its finest. Okay, so back to the story of Dyke. So we have Dykes telling us about when they won the house on Rochelle. Several years after it was built, they started having foundation problems. And he was telling us how his dad had to dig under the house and like reinforce the house and fix the pylons instead of hiring somebody to do it himself. I'm like, wow, that's a fascinating story, because I didn't know, because you think you win something but home ownership is home ownership, right? Even if you won the house, you could have a leak, you could have the pylon shift. I mean, that's just how life is. So he tells me this story. And the reason I think that he told me that story is because time doesn't exist. There's only now. So when something happens in the future, it's still now. So when something happened in the past, it's happened now. So he tells us that story. The next day, we're starting to head out because we're going to drive home together. And I want him to see the house in Rochelle. I want to visit the church where she levitated, because I never had a chance to. All these things. I wanted to donate some books to the Irving Library, which they were very excited about. So one of the things I got from Dyke was this photo album. So, and I had brought a printer because I knew. And I was scanning, because then I sent the photo album to Melissa, because it's not mine to keep, right? Like, it should stay in the family. But I wanted all the stuff inside so then I could share it with everybody online. So I only need the digital. And if I really need a hard copy, I know where to get it. So I turn around and I scan all these pictures from the Formica home opener, where they had all the open house and people coming through and presenting the house to Helene and Pat, and they took all these publicity pictures. So some of them have been online, but not all of them. I got like a dozen, I think there was 10 in total that had never seen the light of day. So I scanned them and I posted them. And I thought, oh, the people that live in that house now would love these pictures. So we went to Walmart and I printed them off a copy, and I got a card in case they weren't home. I could leave it in the mailbox. And we went on our merry way. So we get to their house and I see the cars. I'm like, oh, they're home. And I had met them on my previous visit. So I knock on the door and he answers and he says to me, oh my gosh, I was thinking of you. Now you gotta remember, I live like 3,000 miles away. I was looking for your card. So here I am. He's thinking of me. I didn't call him in. I show up at his door. He says to me, I was thinking of you. We're having foundation problems. I was wondering if you knew anybody who knew anything about the history of the house. What? So I said, actually, I do. So I text Dyke and I said, hey, the current owners at the Rochelle house are having foundation problems. And I know you know the history. So here's his number. And I'm going to give him your number. So please answer when he calls. What? And then they love the pictures. But he was thinking of me, and I show up at his door because he couldn't find my card. So how does the universe do that? So I was literally part of the flow. Like I could see my participation in the flow of the universe between this person's story and this person's prayer. Like, hey, I have foundation problems. I need help. And I was like the conduit for this. And I saw it in action. I was like, what? But how many things happen in our life like that? We have no clue. Anyway, I'm pretty much finished here. This is the last shirt. And then we have errands to run because George is getting his truck fixed tomorrow. And we got to run it up to the mechanics. And then I have to drive him back in my car. So we got to do that. And then it's kind of dinner time, but it's been nice out. It's so nice because it's been light out. So we haven't really felt like having dinner at dinner time. We've been eating later, which is kind of nice. I have to say, I like the summer. We barbecue a lot in the summer. And if you watch my Contest Queen videos, you'll know that we have a hot tub because I won it. So it's so nice in the summer sometimes. We have a fire pit and we'll have a fire and a hot tub and a barbecue and enjoy the weather. I do have all the socks to fold, but I can fold those later. Okay, let me see if there's any other questions. Oh, hi, I'm from Australia. Not many people have basements here. Yeah, because my aunt and uncle were in Sydney. They were in Kirrawee. I lived in Kirrawee for 6 months. And then I went and lived in Manly for 6 months. I rented a furnished flat. And that house has since been demolished and rebuilt. Oh my gosh. But it's up on the hill near the quarantine station in Sydney. And you can see the harbor. Oh my God, stunning views. Yeah, it was very cool to live there. I got to go back. Maybe that's what we'll do for our 10th anniversary. Nice to know that I'm not the only one having to take a course more than once. Oh, well, Joseph Murphy said sometimes you have to hear something 42 times before it clicks. And that's why, here's the other thing. That's why there's so many teachers, and sometimes you'll resonate with one for a while and then you'll resonate with another one, and then that one kind of fades away for you and you resonate with somebody else because you're shifting. And a lot of them are saying the same thing in different ways, and so it resonates with you in a different way. Because let's face it, Wallace Wattles, Florence Scovel Shinn, Neville Goddard, Wayne Dyer, Helene, Jose Silva, Joe Dispenza, guess what? They're all teaching the same thing in a different way. They're all saying the same thing. Like one of my favorite, he just announced some free stuff. Go to Michael Logier's page, Losier. He wrote the Law of Attraction book back in the, I think it's is he on his 30th anniversary of that book? He wrote this book ages ago. It's like one of the best law of attraction books out there. It's slim, but it's packed with good information. And actually what I love about his book is he's the how-to guy, which is a lot of things missed. And he has a really good explanation of how to remove doubt, and you don't have to remove all the doubt to make things manifest. Love it. Anyway, he just announced he's doing all these free PDFs that you can go and get from his site for free. So go to Michael Loge on like Instagram or Facebook, and he has the link there. I love him. He's so good. Oh my goodness. Oh, you know what? You're just teaching me a new word. I do not know that word. I am going to go look it up. I love new words. It's solistic. Solistic. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Ooh, I'm going to go look it up. I struggle. Oh my God. Helene put some words in her books. Anesthetist. Do you know how many times I had to record that word? Can I just say anesthesiologist? He goes, no, she wrote anesthetist. And I would be struggling when we were, one's mind is sure to exist. Oh, I love it. Thank you. I'm gonna go look it up. I love learning new things. And I want to hear, I also go to the dictionary. A lot of times she would have a word and we were like, how do we pronounce that? So we would go to the dictionary and it has the pronunciation. So I would hear it in my headset and then I would record it. So I'm always loving new things. So thank you for sharing that. But yeah, and the other one he would always say to me, because I sometimes don't enunciate, it's contests. Tests, not contests. Enunciate, Carolyn. Oh my gosh, I heard that so much through the headsets. But I know we did a good job because it took me 5 months of recording. Like, so you record the book, then you go and you listen to all the recordings and you find all the mistakes, and then you fix the mistakes. And then he has to do some kind of magic to make it audio friendly, because there's a certain format that the book has to be in. Like there's a 3-second delay, and then there's something, and then they're supposed to fade in and out at a certain rate, and all this. Pay the professionals. Oh my gosh, best money I spent. And I had someone compliment, because I was worried, because the more books I did, the better I got. So I kept thinking, oh, I should go back and do the name it and claim it again. This was the first one I did. But he goes, no, it's fine. It's a good book. And then someone complimented me and said, she listens to a lot of audiobooks, and this one was very good. And I'm like, okay, thank you. Because I said, we worked really hard on it. And I just want people to have a good experience when they listen. Right? And then we're going to have some updates to it, because like I'm writing prizes everywhere. So all the places it says how to win cash cards, trips, and more, I'm going to take out. And then I've had to add a couple of blurbs in places because we've had some growth in the book. So I'm going to update the book a little bit. But yeah, what's the site? Okay, so my website is wordsforwinning.com. So you can go, and I have heaps of Helene's works there for free. You can go and look up all these articles she wrote, and I have some audio things from her, and I have there's all kinds of free stuff there. And then, and pictures, family pictures, and articles that when they're in the newspaper, go poke around. It's a great site. Oh, and I made a free meditation. If you sign up for my Words of Wisdom newsletter, which I don't send out very often, you won't be bothered. Basically, it's not actually, I don't even do a newsletter. It's basically emails from me with what I'm doing next month, and when I'm doing a live stream, and what blogs I posted. I got to get on a newsletter at some point. Oh, Michael's site, oh gosh, did he change it? You know what, just let me see. Can I type in Michael's thing? Because I got to go. We got to go take this thing. Can I leave a comment? Flip. Oh. I got to tell YouTube, I need to be able to put a comment too. Okay, see, that's the nice thing about taking this course with YouTube, is that you can tell them things. No, I can't leave a comment. Okay, so you're going to have to, I can do a sticker. No. Oh, I can't leave a comment on my own feed. I can do that on TikTok though. You have to tell YouTube. It's Michael. You spelled Michael right, but Loiser is Loiser. So if you just Google his name and then the words, the law of attraction, he will pop up. Because I don't think it's actually his name. I think it's like Michael Loiser, law of attraction, or it's something. So Google his name with the law of attraction and you will find him. Or just go to Instagram and look for his name. I think it's Michael Loiser, LOA, law of attraction. And he just did a post today about the free PDFs. Sorry, I can't help you through YouTube while I'm live. Anyway, we're finished the laundry and I'm talked out and we gotta go. And I'm going to do more of these because I love teaching people and having fun and connecting. Because let's face it, it's fun. And who doesn't like to connect? And if you want to learn about luck, I'm doing a St. Patrick's Day live stream over on YouTube, on my Contest Queen YouTube. On St. Patrick's Day, I do it every year. But anyway, I know it kind of crisscrosses this one, right? Because this is where I teach luck. And that's where I teach winning, but sometimes they overlap, right? Okay, now, where do I stop this? Okay, I think it's up here. Yes, I want to stop.